Welcome to CN Movies, the show where we review movies but from a Christian's perspective. I'm the filmmaker.
And I'm the film watcher.
And today we are reviewing How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live-action Jim Carrey version. Released in 2000. Released the Kraken. And not the good animated one that you might know. Nope. Because somebody wanted to review the live-action version.
You said I could pick.
Did you see this when it came out in theaters?
No.
I did. I think it was the last time I watched it before we watched it this time. And yet I still remembered it. Is that a good thing?
It's a good movie. The first category is, of course, story.
Why is the Grinch such a grouch? No one seems to know until little Cindy Lou Who takes matters into her own hands and turns both Whoville and Grinch's world upside down, inside out, and funny side up in her search for the true meaning of Christmas.
So I like the story, obviously, of the Grinch. It's
Obviously.
One of my favorite Christmas movies. I do like the cartoon better. I think the cartoon is more, I don't know, family friendly, I guess, as well as...
It isn't even rated. It's an unrated director's cut.
Well, it gives you... It comes across as being very Christmassy. I don't know if that makes sense, but the live adaptation, I thought they did a good job with the adaptation in that nothing seemed out of place from the cartoon. So anything that they added could have fit from the cartoon's original story.
I don't know. I think, well, this is more characters, but I think they made the Grinch more goofy.
Yes. Well, yes, they did make the Grinch more goofy.
Or Jim Carrey made the Grinch more goofy, but we'll talk about that in characters.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in characters. As far as the storyline, though, the storyline, you can't knock the storyline because that's Dr. Seuss and it's amazing.
Oh, okay, because Dr. Seuss wrote it. It has to be amazing.
It is amazing. There's a reason it's good.
You can't knock it. Dr. Seuss wrote it.
You can't.
Not everything he writes is gold. Not everything he wrote is gold, sorry.
Okay.
R.I.P. Dr. Seuss.
Okay, but it is a good storyline. Do you agree with that?
Okay, it's a good storyline.
Okay, so it's a good storyline, and in their adaptation, I don't think they went extremes and made this like something that wouldn't have fit in the original storyline.
I think the story was good as well. That's not my gripe with this. My gripe with this movie is not the story, because it's basically this into this. I mean, this was like 50 minutes, it says in the back. I don't know if that... It also says plus Horton Hears a Who at the bottom, so I don't know if that counts part of the runtime, but if the original was really 50 minutes, which I don't think it's that long, and then they made it an hour and a half, it didn't feel like they dragged it out. So they just expanded upon it, which was good. So I like the story. I had no real complaints about the story. And I think the only thing, well, you know what I didn't like, and I don't know if this counts as characters, but they kind of like had a couple of sexual innuendos.
Yeah,
that's more
I
Christian
put that
nutrition.
more in the Christian nutrition.
Okay, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
So,
for the story, I gave it a 10 out of 15. Mainly it lost points only because I think some things in the story, which we can talk about in Christian nutrition, weren't as necessary to the main plotline.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Fred Claus.
It could be.
That was a terrible movie.
This is not a review on Fred Claus.
No, but if we did, that 0 out of 10. Terrible movie. Never watch. But for this, I gave it an 11 out of 15. Because I pretty much agree with you, but I need to one-up you.
So the next category is characters. Again, the original characters it's in the cartoon, it's mostly all about the Grinch. I think Cindy Lou isn't even she is a main character, but nowhere near as much as in the movie. But I like Cindy Lou in the movie. I think she did a good job. She was cute without being annoying, and...
It says the actress's name is Taylor Momsen. I don't think she ever did. I don't think I've seen her in anything since. That was 16 years ago when this film came out, so...
Probably not.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's had time, and she didn't capitalize on her Grinch success, so...
Maybe she made enough from the Grinch.
But we can say Jim Carrey's career pretty much went downhill after this anyways. If this wasn't already part of the downhill slope, Jim Carrey...
The only reason I like this movie is because of Jim Carrey.
That's the reason I didn't like this movie, was because of Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey went way over the top, and I like him in Liar Liar. I kind of like The Mask. I mean, I think The Mask is really dumb, but I mean, him in The Mask is good. Him in Liar Liar is good. He's over the top in those movies. Ace Ventura, he's good, but in here, I don't know. It just felt really out of place. When you're supposed to be the villain, I don't know.
He was an over-the-top
He's supposed to be mean, and he just comes across as goofy, and you're like, well, of course, this guy's just misunderstood.
He's not really mean.
He's just misunderstood.
Exactly.
I'm Jim Carrey, and I'm the Grinch, and I'm misunderstood. Like, yeah, like, who's supposed to fear him?
You're not supposed to fear him.
Well, the whole town did. The whole town feared him.
Yeah, because they didn't fit into
Who's
their perfect
fearful of
little
this
thing.
of this Grinch, like what? Because he doesn't look like them? Are you saying this movie's about racism?
Pretty much.
You're triggering me right now.
Okay.
I'm being triggered.
It kind of is, though.
Trigger.
It kind of is. I mean, it's about, like, loving people who don't really deserve it and accepting people who aren't like you.
It's true. It is about that. But Jim Carrey's performance was actually my least favorite part of this movie.
I like it.
Just saying. And
I thought
I don't
he's
even
funny.
know what her name is, but the woman he falls in love with at the end of the movie, which I'll show in video form on the screen. The woman he falls or has a crush on him since school. Why isn't she married already? She just couldn't find love because she is smoking hot. I think we agree upon that.
Yeah.
She is hot. So it's not like she's like some ugly duckling. How is she not already married? She's like clearly in her 40s.
Because the only available person was the mayor and she didn't love the mayor.
Oh, okay. So the whole town is like married except for the mayor and the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I buy that. I don't buy that at all. That's so dumb. I will say the dog
Max. I do like him.
was likable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had to put up with Jim Carrey, so that should give him bonus
He was
points.
pretty well trained.
And Cindy Lou, I don't know. I mean, Cindy Lou to me is just like another cute little girl. Like, I don't know. It's just another cute little girl. She hadn't even grown into her nose. Oh no, not her nose. So anyways, I give characters a 4 out of 10.
I gave him a 6 out of 10.
Well, I had to knock it down more because I think Jim Carrey's the main character, and I don't really care for him in this movie. So you can't just like let it slide. You can't let it go.
But
Let
I
it go.
liked Jim Carrey, so I gave it.
I couldn't hold it back anymore.
So the next category is music. I really like the music in this movie because they did use the 2 main songs from the Christmas or the cartoon one. I keep saying obviously.
Obviously,
Sorry.
like everyone knows what you're thinking.
They used the 2 main songs from the cartoon.
Mhm.
The only one they added was "Where Are You Christmas," as far as I'm aware, and that's kind of a classic Christmas song.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
from the
that's a
cartoon.
good song.
And it's a good song, and they did a good job of it.
Good point. That's a great song.
And the other one they used was the.
You know, they played it on the radio the other day, and I never really listened to the lyrics all the way through
Yeah,
until I
they're
listened to it on the radio. Yeah, it's pretty.
It's a good song.
It's a pretty good song.
So
Like,
out
they
of
don't
the-
write music like that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of the 3
very
songs in
unfortunate.
the movie, they're all like really pretty good. I mean, the last one's very basic and generic. But
You're a mean one, Mary.
so for music,
It's okay. Nobody watches CN movies anyway, so who's gonna know what your name is?
it's okay. I don't care. For the music, can I give the score? You have more
Sure,
to talk
give your
about.
score on music. I have nothing else to add. I just like, you're a mean one, Mrs. Mary. Oh, there we go. I capitalized on your marriage. Because you're Mrs. now.
So for music,
Mrs. Claus.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I
you
did.
did. I'll agree with your score.
Okay. The last category is Christian nutritional value.
Boobs.
Stop it.
What? The filmmakers were like, we gotta insert some adult humor here because
Yeah.
what if parents get bored when they take their kids to the movie? We gotta throw some boobs in there so that the married parents all feel a little bit awkward. The dad's like, I wanna like say I like that, but my wife's here. The wife's like, he better not like that. So I mean, really, I guess they're catering to single dads. Like, you know, no children should be like, oh my gosh, the Grinch fell in that one woman's boobs.
There are a couple.
0 out of 15.
There were a couple sexual content joke things that were not appropriate.
Her whole life's not appropriate.
The only positive really is that Christmas isn't about presents. And
Christmas time, it's Christmas time. That's true.
when the Who's lose all their presents.
Okay, but then we're kind of on story with this, but I want to point out that it was unrealistic. We had seen nothing showing us that the Who's really knew what Christmas was about. So when all their gifts got stolen, the Grinch was technically correct that they all should have just freaked out and the holiday should have been ruined. They should all have been like, let's hold hands and sing and realize what Christmas is really about, because there was nothing leading into that. There's nothing showing us.
That's one aspect of the cartoon I
And that's
like
probably
better.
why I knocked off points off the story. I forgot why I did that. I wrote no notes. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, you
Well, I don't know if they knew that. I knew you knew
did. No,
that.
you said that.
Okay.
That's one aspect of the cartoon I like better is that it doesn't focus on the Who's as much. But you know they're excited about Christmas. They love Christmas. But there's not even a discussion. Like, as soon as everything's gone, like, they walk out into the street and start singing. And it's kind of like, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, we celebrate Christmas, but at the same time, we're just happy people. Basically.
But in this one, it's very firmly established. That's what they did with the extra runtime. That all it is, it's about presents. Cindy Lou even points out multiple times, in case you didn't know that was going to be the moral of the story. She points out, what's Christmas really about? And everyone's just like, basically presents. Like, no one ever says anything else. No one says, well, it's about this. And then she could have been like, well, why are we so focused on presents then? It was never like that, which is how it should have been if they were going to make this moral lesson at the end. Like they were going to in the cartoon. It was almost like, because the cartoon did that, well, we had to do that. Yeah. Basically.
And that the Grinch learns that it's better to love people and be a part of a community.
I would blame acclaimed director Ron Howard, who's an acclaimed director that I've never seen a movie of his that I actually really like. He's supposedly like one of the greats, but whatever. So Ron Howard, but I feel like the studio might have to, I feel like this is really it's an hour and 45 minutes, not an hour and a half. I feel like the studio might have had their hands in this. Like, because it's a remake of a classic, and they just want to guarantee they make money. So, I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't like put in Smash Mouth or something. Like put in some generic pop music.
Oh, stop it.
Been like, he's stealing all the presents. They're like, somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. No, that would be the Grinch. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He was looking kind of dumb with his finger and his thumb in the shape of an L on his forehead. Do you get it? That L stands for loser. Didn't know if you understood that. So what's your nutritional score?
My score was 7 out of 15.
Mine is, man, it's hard. I guess it's, the sexual jokes they're there, but it's not like.
It's not as prevalent as some kids.
It's almost like if they had just they could recut out the sexual jokes, and this would probably be a G-rated movie. Because right now it says PG for some crude humor. I'm gonna give it the same score as you. But if they cut out the sexual jokes, there's like 5 of them I want to say. They cut out the sexual jokes, and I don't know. They can't really fix the fact that there's no lead in to the moral of the story. Like there's no like natural progression or any hint that that's how it should have gone down. I don't know. It'd be a higher score, but yeah, the sexual joke shouldn't be there for a kids movie. For a movie that's clearly meant for kids.
Yeah.
So 7 out of 15. Good work, team.
I gotcha, Cindy Lou!
Our final score for The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the live action one, not the cartoon one, is a 59 out of 100. A 59 out of 100.
Could have been better.
Could have been better. Should have been better. Wasn't better.
But the original probably is like 100.
Like 100 out of 100? I don't know. That's pretty extreme.
We didn't actually watch the original this year, but
Next week on CN Movies, we're going to be reviewing Pocahontas. And we totally didn't record the review for that like 5 months ago.
they really don't need.
Nope, we definitely didn't record the review for this back in August. Nope, that never happened. Never, Mary, never. They'll never know. So stay tuned, subscribe, and bye.